Now, Rowan Farrell is a trustee of the Refugee info bus who worked as a volunteer in the Calais camp, and he joins me now from London. Rowan, thanks so much for joining us. Now, I personally visited the camps there 2 years ago. Tell me, what was the biggest problem that you saw there at the camp, and was the government right to close it down?
The camp was necessary in many respects. It gave us a chance to shelter people over winter. We were very worried about people dying over winter, as unfortunately some people did in Serbia and Greece last year. It was also a place where the services could operate and we could help people. At the same time, it was also an illegal camp. Parts of it were, none of it was really secure, and most of the aid was coming from grassroots volunteers like myself, individuals who came to help on a personal basis. And where there are vulnerable people, there are people who will take advantage of them. At the high point of the jungle, there was over 1,000 unaccompanied children. And this did lead to abuse by lots of different groups. And it's not something we could control. On the outside of the jungle, the state response was still from the French government and the English government to put money into the police force, and not look at these in-depth fundamental problems. It's that state neglect which I think was the worst aspect of the jungle.
Rowan, tell me, what's happening now? Because, I've met refugees there 2 years ago, and they will do whatever it takes, and they will still be there in Calais. So, what reports have you heard of refugees still there in the area? Because there are still so many, and they're desperate.
There's up to 800 refugees right now in Calais, up to 2,000 in the north of France. But these are not people who have returned to Calais. Most of these are people who were not in the old jungle. They are new to Europe. It just shows that this crisis is an ongoing process. And the same policy that states have been pushing of trying to put people off going to France, going to Calais, trying to put people off by not giving any humanitarian assistance, just simply doesn't work. And we see this over and over again.
It doesn't
the result
work.
of this is
why do they still
lots of
do
young
it,
people.
Rowan? Sorry to interrupt you. Why do they still ignore the fact that it doesn't work and people will do whatever it takes? They are so desperate.
I guess some people don't believe that working on the root problem is the way forward. One of the main issues is information. Refugees just simply aren't informed of the changes in policy or what the government wants to do or what is on offer. It's something that my organisation does, it's a gap that my organisation tries to fill, because the government doesn't want people to be in Calais, but they don't come to Calais to speak to individuals in any sort of structured sense to say, you can claim asylum in France. These are your options. We will take care of you as refugees. Which is, these are the principles that my country in France are supposed to stand on, but in reality they just don't live up to it.
Thank you so much for that update, Rowan, and I wish your organisation the best of luck with your work. That was Rowan Farrell, a trustee of the Refugee info bus from London.